In the heart of the American South, nestled between green fields and winding, dusty paths, lay a small town named Willow Creek. It was the kind of place where the sun painted golden lines across every rooftop each morning, and where voices of vendors, dogs, children echoed through the alleys like music. But there was one boy whose voice rarely joined that music. Eli was 15. He spoke little, but his eyes saw everything. He noticed the shape of raindrops as they slid down oak leaves, the tiny ants that marched in rhythm near the school wall, and the cracks on the blackboard that almost mirrored the ones on his teacher's tired face. He wasn't fast with answers, nor loud with opinions. To many, he was a shadow, quiet, slow, forgettable. Does he even think? Some students joked. Eli? He's harmless, his teacher once muttered when someone asked why he never raised his hand. But deep inside, Eli was not empty. He was full of thoughts, of questions, of dreams. For over a year, Eli had been working on something quietly revolutionary. The town's lake, once a place of reflection and laughter, had become a pool of waste. No one swam in it anymore. No birds came. Children were warned not to go near. But Eli couldn't look away. Every afternoon after school, while others played basketball or scrolled through their phones, Eli walked to a forgotten corner of the town where rusted junk lay piled near Grandpa Joe's garden. Grandpa Joe, the town's old gardener, was a man of few words, too. He had a white beard that curled like roots and hands that smelled of wet earth. One day, when Eli was trying to quietly pull out a cracked plastic pipe from the junk heap, Grandpa Joe noticed. "Looking for something, tree boy?" he asked. Eli hesitated. "Just parts." Grandpa Joe chuckled, then pointed to a massive banyan tree behind him. "You see that tree? It doesn't shout. It doesn't dance. It doesn't bloom like a maple or sway like sunflowers. But do you know what it does?" Eli shook his head. "It holds the earth. Its roots stretch far and deep. In storms, when others fall, the banyan remains." From that day, Grandpa Joe began watching Eli work. Slowly, the boy collected filters from broken water purifiers, old cloths, charcoal, sand, and built a layered system inside an old box. He studied quietly. He failed quietly. He learned quietly. But every mistake became a root growing deeper. His goal was clear: clean the lake. Not for applause, not for grades, but for the birds, for the children, for the silence of water he remembered from years ago. Then came the science fair. The town school decided to host its first exhibition in years. Banners went up. Parents were invited. Students scrambled to build volcanoes and model robots. And Eli, he walked in carrying a large, muddy-looking box. It dripped slightly. People stared. "What is that?" "A compost bin," someone laughed. "Did he forget to clean it?" Even the judges, local teachers, and visiting officials looked uncertain. When it was his turn, Eli stepped forward. He said nothing at first, just took a jug of brown lake water and poured it into his box. It gurgled slowly, passed through layers, and then, drop by drop, from the other end came water, clear. A gasp. The principal stepped closer. He tasted it, murmured something, then smiled. "It's clean." Within minutes, the crowd that had once mocked him now leaned forward. Eli explained, softly but steadily, how his filter used natural materials, how it could be built for almost no cost, and how, if scaled, it could clean the lake. Grandpa Joe stood near the banyan tree in the corner, watching, eyes glistening. By evening, Eli's name was on every lip. Not screamed, not chanted, but spoken with respect. Weeks passed. The school built larger versions of Eli's design. The town began cleanup drives. The lake, slowly, began to breathe again. Birds returned. Children played. And Eli, he still didn't talk much. Still watched more than he spoke. But now, when he passed, people nodded. Teachers paused. Classmates listened. One day, Grandpa Joe gave him a small sapling. "Banyan," he said, "planted by the lake." "Why?" Eli asked. "Because you're like it, and the world must remember that silence isn't weakness. It's depth." And so, beside the lake that now held both water and memories, a tree began to grow. It would not bloom brightly. It would not bear fruit, but would remain quietly powerful, silently strong. Moral: the loudest trees may sway in storms, but it's the silent ones that hold the earth together.